In 1965, a team of professional archaeologists in Scotland deliberately buried a 5,000-year-old carved stone under a meter of soil. When asked why, they said it was for protection. They never came back. In 2011, the Supreme Court of India ordered 6 ancient vaults opened beneath the world's richest temple. 5 were opened. The 6th stopped every committee that tried. And right now, in tunnels beneath the Egyptian desert, there are 24 stone boxes, each weighing up to 100 tons, found completely empty. No remains, no explanation for what was ever inside. These are ancient objects that experts, sometimes very, very quietly, have warned people not to study. In Denisova Cave, southern Siberia, researchers have been piecing together evidence of a species of human nobody knew existed until 2010. The Denisovans, from 40,000 years ago. We have almost nothing physical. A few teeth, finger bone, a jaw fragment. What we do have, though, is a bracelet. Green chlorite stone polished to a near mirror finish. And inside the central hole, which is perfectly round, there's evidence of high-speed rotary drilling, a technique that wasn't supposed to exist for another 30,000 years. The team that first published on it noted the workmanship was, and I'm quoting here, consistent with 21st century technology. Now, that's not an explanation. That's just a very careful scientific way of saying they don't have an explanation. More than 130 of these have been found across Europe. Small, hollow bronze objects, 12-sided, with circular holes of varying sizes in each face and a tiny sphere at each corner. They date to roughly the 1st through 5th centuries AD, found at Roman-era sites across France, Germany, Switzerland, Hungary, and Britain. Here's what's actually unsettling about them. Not a single Roman text mentions them. Nothing. In all of classical Roman literature, engineering manuals, census records, military dispatches, private letters, there is not one reference to what these things were. They've never been found in Rome itself, only in the provincial north. Over 50 competing theories have been proposed, but none have achieved consensus. The silence in the historical record isn't a gap. It looks more like a choice. Whether you believe it or not, that's pretty bizarre. In 1986, construction workers in Sichuan province, China, accidentally broke through the ground into 2 massive ritual pits nobody knew existed. Inside were bronze masks, gold objects, and ivory belonging to a Bronze Age civilization not recorded anywhere in Chinese history. The Sanxingdui culture, around 3,000 to 4,000 years old. The faces on the masks don't look like anything in known Chinese archaeology. Huge eyes with pupils extended on bronze stalks, some projecting nearly 16 centimeters out of the face. Enormous wing-like ears. No connection to the mythology of any neighboring civilization. In 2021, 4 more pits were discovered and formally rewrote China's Bronze Age history. The Chinese government has tightly restricted independent research at the site from the beginning. What the masks represent, what ritual they were a part of, and what happened to this civilization is officially undetermined. Around 7,000 years ago, a civilization we call the Ubaid culture existed in what is now southern Iraq. They built the first temples in Mesopotamia. They laid the foundations for what eventually became Sumer and Babylon. Across multiple excavation sites from this period, archaeologists have found figurines, humanoid, but with features that don't look human. Elongated heads, almond-shaped eyes, long, narrow snouts, some with tails, some appearing to nurse infants. The design is consistent across separate sites, which rules out one artist's style or regional tradition. Mainstream archaeology's explanation is that these represent a deity. No tablet has been found to confirm that, no ritual context, no inscription describing what they are. We just know that the people who built the first cities in human history made these figures consistently, and nobody has ever fully explained why. I mean, I don't know, that's just kind of nuts. The Corleck Head a three-faced carved stone idol found near Corleck Hill in County Cavan, Ireland, dating to around the 1st or 2nd century AD. Three faces, each staring in a different direction, found in a region with centuries of dark folklore attached to it. To the ancient Celts, the head was the seat of the soul. Carved heads like this weren't decorative, they were considered inhabited. But here's the thing, somewhere between the 10th and 13th centuries, the communities living near this specific object buried it deliberately. Scholars believe they buried it because they believed it was cursed and needed to be put into the ground. It's now at the National Museum of Ireland. The modern legend surrounding it is unverifiable, but the burying? Well, I mean, that's documented. The people who lived alongside this thing for centuries made a decision. What they knew that we don't, well, that's the part that gets pretty unsettling. Deep in a network of tunnels beneath the desert at Saqqara, Egypt, there are 24 massive granite boxes. Each one weighs between 70 and 100 tons, each carved from a single block of Aswan granite. The lids alone weigh up to 27 tons, and they were found, all of them, completely empty. No mummies, no remains, no residue, most without a single inscription. The debate around them is actually where it gets interesting. Engineers who've measured the interior surfaces claim the flatness is beyond what hand tools should be able to produce. Egyptologists say the precision claims are overstated. Both groups have been making the same argument for 30 years and neither has fully settled it. Now, those tunnels are so narrow that getting the boxes in would have required engineering that nobody has replicated. The official position is that there's nothing left to find. That might be right, or it might just be the most convenient possible position to take. In 1887, a farmer in West Dunbartonshire, Scotland, uncovered a massive flat rock embedded in the earth. Roughly 13 meters by 8 meters, about the size of 3 tennis courts, covered in 90 carved symbols, cup and ring marks, spirals, geometric patterns dating to around 3000 BC. Older than Stonehenge, the largest Bronze Age carved rock in Scotland. In spring 1965, a team of professional archaeologists came to the site, made detailed records, and then buried it, deliberately, under a meter of soil. No public consultation, no warning to the local community. The official reason given was protection from vandalism. It stayed buried for 51 years until 2016, when researchers from the University of Glasgow briefly uncovered it to do a digital scan. Then they also reburied it. It is still down there now. Nobody has said when or whether it will be fully excavated. Protection from vandalism. That's what's on record. Well, I would love to believe that's the whole story, but I don't. In 2011, the Supreme Court of India ordered the inventory of all vaults beneath the Sri Padmanabhaswamy Temple. 5 vaults were opened, gold statues, gem-encrusted crowns, thousands of gold coins. The total estimated value has been placed between 22 billion and 1 trillion US dollars, making it the richest known religious institution on Earth. Vault B was not opened. The royal family obtained a Supreme Court injunction specifically to prevent it. The vault door is carved with 2 massive cobras. No handles, no hinges, no visible locking mechanism. Local tradition holds it was sealed using a sound-based ritual whose reversal, if it ever existed, is no longer known. The committee appointed by the Supreme Court, using, and I'm quoting, all possible technological resources, could not open it. The BBC reported in 2011 that the court ruled it should simply just remain shut. A modern court with full legal authority decided an ancient sealed room should stay that way. The official reason is religious significance, but here's the thing. They had every legal right to open it and walked away. It could be a total respect for tradition, but that's definitely an unusual thing for a court to decide. When Howard Carter opened King Tut's tomb in 1922, among the gold and the furniture were 2 trumpets, one bronze 1 silver. The oldest playable instruments ever found, silent for over 3,000 years. In April 1939, a BBC researcher named James Tappern played one of them live on radio, heard by an estimated 150 million people. The first time those notes had been heard since ancient Egypt. Within weeks, a fire broke out at the Cairo Museum. Shortly after, Britain declared war on Germany. Egyptian scholars explicitly warned the trumpets should never be played again. They are now kept under strict handling protocols. In 2011, during Egypt's political revolution, reports surfaced that a visiting official played them at the museum. Power cuts inside the building followed, chaos outside. Egyptologists declined to comment on any connection, but I'd say it's pretty unsettling to say the least. Timur the Great, one of the most feared conquerors in history. His campaigns were responsible for an estimated 17 million deaths, roughly 5% of the world population at the time. Buried in the Gur-i-Amir mausoleum in Samarkand in 1405, and inside the tomb, an inscription: "Whomever opens my tomb shall unleash an invader more terrible than I." Soviet archaeologists opened it on June 19th and 20th, 1941. 3 days later, June 22nd, Germany launched Operation Barbarossa. 3 million troops, the largest military land invasion in human history. The invasion had been in planning for months. Coincidence is the obvious answer, but here's the thing. Stalin himself apparently didn't find it quite so straightforward. He ordered Timur's remains returned in November 1942 with full Islamic burial rites, the month after the Battle of Stalingrad, generally considered the turning point of the war. Could be coincidence, could be that Stalin was being politically careful with Soviet Muslim populations. Both are reasonable, but a man who publicly dismantled the church, who didn't believe in curses, quietly putting him back in the ground, and nobody officially connects those two things. I don't know. Are they meddling with things bigger than they're letting on? Well, I guess in this case, they already had. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I will see you again soon. Bye!